All right, yogis. So, simple Sundays here. Let's start in our child pose, just to kind of ground and center, create some meditative qualities in the mind and body. So everyone knows what to do, right? You come to the middle of your mat, knees wide, big toes touch, forehead on mat. And you got about, maybe 2, 3 minutes here max. Some days it feels good to just kind of relax. Some days you might massage your forehead on the floor. Some mornings you might be focusing on breathing a little bit more. Nice deep inhale into your underarms, lower back, big exhale. Last minute, if you'd like to crawl your arms over to a side, it's a really nice first opener for the side body. Okay, second side, walk your hands to the left if you are. If you're just joining, we're starting in a child pose, a nice meditative, grounded position. All right, yogis, let's rise up to our tabletop. Let's get our nice kind of simple cat-cow going. Inhale, arching the back, exhale, rounding the spine. It's really good to kind of focus on that linear movement a few times. And then after a few of those, you guys know what to do, right? You could turn your hands around, getting a wrist stretch involved. You could draw more of a circling side-to-side motion. Okay, so just taking a little bit of time here to focus on this cat-cow type movement area, getting the breath going a little bit deeper. All right, I'll keep going here. Just some fundamentals for you guys. Tabletop, right leg reaches back. You can stay here, reach your left arm forward. That first kind of active pose. Turning on some muscles now. Pressing your left foot down, engaging your right hand. Take that big inhale and exhale, round it and squeeze. Inhale and exhale. Some mornings you do about 3 to 6. Some mornings you might feel a little better. Take it towards a higher number, 9, 12 reps. There's a lot of other options, bringing the knee wide, bending it behind you, holding, pausing, pulsing. All right, knee down, hips, hand down, and second side, left leg, right arm. Just kind of pausing for a moment too. It is good to hold before you start moving. It should be pretty easy start, right? You're turning muscles on, but in an easy way. All right, we will meet in tabletop position. I got one more movement for you here. Walk the hands a little bit forward, right arm under left, right arm up to the sky. Okay, exhale, right arm under left armpit. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Exhale, inhale. Couple more. Next time you thread that needle, so this was still on that same side, just hold it for a breath or two, not too long. Right arm underneath, shoulder, elbow down, head down. See if you can find a comfortable position here. Find that sweet spot of the pose and breathe into it. And a big inhale. And exhale, tabletop at your pace, second side. Exhale, left arm underneath right. Inhale, left arm up and open. I like to kind of like pause, especially like here because it's an active part. Exhale, inhale, I kind of pause for a moment for that extra opening. Okay, go ahead, get your spinal rotations on. Remember, this is horizontal abduction and extension of the spine. So it's 3 postural correction exercises in one, basically. Spinal extension is one of them. That's where you're taking your spine a little bit more of a rounding to almost like a back bend or a chest lifting. Your arms are going back from being kind of in front of you actively. And then you're rotating in those two. It's a really good one. Next time, no rush, you thread the needle, maybe you pause for a breath or 3. When you first start yoga, this is a pretty awkward position to thread the needle. It is easier to do it in child pose. No rush here, yogis. We're going to meet back in our tabletop position. Downward dog, toes tucked, hips up and back. Feeling out the down dog. Maybe shifting forward to plank and back to down dog a few times. Okay, maybe shifting the plank just for a breath or 3 today. Shifting forward to that plank, and you can see what I'm doing here. I'm drawing like a little circle with my chest over the hands. You don't have to do that. I'm just kind of, instead of being so stiff in my plank, kind of giving some movement. You can do that in tabletop too. I'm just kind of shifting weight to the side, forward, other side and back. Just kind of getting off that center stack line of my plank. Shouldn't be too tough. Okay, back to down dog here, yogis. All right, so we're gonna try this posture down to the knees. You can keep your toes tucked if you'd like. Anahata now. Arms reach forward, hips stay up over the knees. Arms reach forward, forehead down, pressing the palms down, stretching your underarms. If you're good at it, chin forward or even chest forward on the floor. All right, big underarm stretch, kind of big back bend. Another awkward pose if you're new to it. That's part of our knees, chest, chin. that we do. Okay, nice and slow, yogis. You'll rise up, walk your knees back, come down to our chest. And we're going to do that dynamic cobra today. You can start in your Sphinx. Remember, dynamic just kind of means moving in some ways. You're going to inhale, just lift the chest, giving a nice pause here, and exhale. If you want to go more after a few of these gentle cobras, maybe going up a little higher, full cobra, slowly lowering down, kind of resisting that lowering down with the back muscles. Up again and down, just kind of getting into this little flow. Notice how I kind of make it an articulation, right? As I move down, I press down, my upper back starts to lift. It's almost like I'm in a cat pose here. You see that? And I round up and I slow down. Inhale, cobra, exhale, laying on your chest. Last few, please. So it's almost like as I lift in the cobra, I'm letting my head hang heavy and I'm articulating it up the chin as I go down. Like tucking my chin to my chest as I start my cobra. It's a little different. Okay, no rush, please. We'll meet down on the chest. I got another movement for you here, yogis. Arms are going to go wide. I would start easy on this one. Roll into your right a little bit, left leg behind you. Now you're welcome to pause. We do that often. Or maybe today, rolling slowly back through your neutral chest and right leg reaches behind you. Just kind of pausing for a moment or going to side, pausing on a space. Right arm out, left leg behind, second time here. Back to my chest, kind of massaging everything. Left arm out, right leg behind. And you keep going a few more times, or you can choose to hold your stretch. You know, we more often hold it. I'm just gonna switch it up here for that dynamic stretch quality. Last few times. If you are doing something one-sided, maybe switch it up, please. If you're holding the stretch on the first side. All right, no rush here, yogis. I'm gonna kind of keep you moving forward. You can either press back through plank, down dog. If you want to take chaturangas, feel free, but I'm gonna skip that for now. You might want to press the child pose. If you came in a little after we started, we held a nice long child pose in the beginning. We've also held thread the needle on a hatha, so some of these very grounded positions. But what we're gonna do is meet back in tabletop. I want to give you that wrist stretching we're not doing enough of. And it's the back of the hand now, yogis, all right? So go slow, the back of your right hand goes down. Notice my palm is flipped up, my fingers are facing my knees. I'm just gonna do one hand at a time so I can like let go and relax into it, all right? Yogis, if you're feeling pretty good, bring the hand a little bit farther forward. If it's a lot on your wrist, bring the hand closer to your knee. We are working on straightening the elbow more, maybe rolling that crease of the elbow forward, lean back a tiny bit. I'm actually starting to press the back of my hand down so I can get a little muscle activated there too. Okay, so just to be clear, right, your wrist is stretching like that. So not like that. We kind of had the opportunity to do that earlier in cat-cow, right? Here, we're kind of isolating the stretch more. Okay, then you can just kind of wiggle your fingers and roll out your wrist. I like to kind of stretch the fingers too, just a little bit, or wiggle them after that. Nice compression is nice, where you can sit back and squeeze your wrist for a moment. Okay, and then you're just basically going to do the second wrist. Give you another 45 seconds, a minute. Back of your second hand down.
It's an important one, yogis. We're always like this in yoga. So that's going to create certain muscle fascial patterns and tendencies, and they get tight and sticky here. Gonna make sure we're getting that wrist open here. Okay. I've had you do dynamics like this, where we kind of move the wrist a lot. Don't forget that this is a fantastic, when I'm warming up to do things like handstand or play basketball, where the wrists are involved a lot, I'll do this. I have a lot of like moving the wrist, not just stretching. I'll do that like a quick. I won't like hold this stretch before handstanding though. More like move it a lot, and maybe a quick kind of dynamic stretching like that, but not a long hold. All right. So here we go. Let's come back to our tabletop. Shake your wrist out. I got one more thing here, yogis. Tabletop position. I want to isolate this movement. Think about this kind of like a side plank if you'd rather do something in that realm, but this is going to be more of that big range dynamic. It's also horizontal, so it's not like abduction. Right knee hovers. Don't let this core dip. This is now strengthening, please. Grip your fingers. Right knee goes out, up and open. They call it like the male canine urinating on the fire hydrant, right? They lift the leg up and out to the side. They have to pause though, right? So you go up, you pause. And you can even like pulse it a little bit up there if you want, if you're ready to start working on those glutes more. Okay, try to notice things like your back arching, your shoulders tensing, your neck tensing. Relax all those spaces, support and pull the belly in, and really try to feel that leg lift out and up. Last few. This is like half moon too, right? It's all those lateral kind of strengtheners, activators. If you want to hold one last one, basically always adding that hold. It's just like, say you're doing a push-up, you lower down halfway and kind of pause in that really tense work kind of range. It's going to add up the strengthening quality. All right, let's lower down, please. And you're just going to do one round, switch sides here. Lifting that left leg out and up. All right, trying to pause up there. Notice any shifting in the core, tensing in the body. Try to relax. So this is that glute medius. It's that outer glute, big hip muscle on the side. Nice. Yep. Yeah. Notice those hips flopping over. So if you're lifting your left knee, your body kind of wants to shift over to the right. Just notice that. Try to keep your hands more equal. And oh, nice. Yeah. It's another good version there. All right. When you're ready, no rush, please. Down dog. I see a lot, half of you look done there. Maybe one or two of you still going that I can see. Please don't feel like you have to stop that exercise just because I'm kind of moving forward. Get back to your down dog. And now we'll go for that hip flexor stretch, three-legged dog. Inhale, right leg goes high. Open up the hip. I'm going to have you go right for open hip because you already did the knee to elbow in the beginning of class. So you go right for that open hip. And you find that front hip flexor stretch now. Remember, I'm keeping it simple today. So yesterday was kind of a big practice. So taking it easy in general. Big inhale. Listen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Right knee, right elbow. We're going to step our right foot outside our right hand. And we're going to do lizard today. So drop the back knee. Most classes I always have you go to high lunge, right? So it's strengthening more. This is still can be strengthening by pressing your big toes down, squeezing the pelvic floor, lifting the chest more. So I crawled my left knee back. You see that? First thing I did was tuck my back toes, crawl my knee back. Okay?
Lizard, you're feeling good. You could keep the back toe tucked if you want more. If you want strength, back toe tucked, back knee lifting. All right. Options, come down in your forearms more. Big option, walk your arms forward more in your fingertips, whether your back knee is lifted or not. Press the big toe down a little bit in both feet. Couple more breaths here. So it's taking a lunge and making it a very kind of stretch approach. So I'm not doing like the full yin hold. You're more than welcome to hold longer, but
we'll try to go a little bit longer here, yogis. Try to let this one settle in. Last few breaths. Okay, and you know, when you're done with your right side, this would be opportunity for chaturanga kind of in between. If you're looking to get those in, you might throw your right leg back and kind of shake it out. And then you know what to do. High plank, low plank, up dog or cobra, if you'd like to add that in. Okay. And then what we do is meet back in down dog and start the second side. It's a very simple sequence here. Your left leg lifts and open up the hip. That's stretching your front hip flexor. The second part, the lizard lunge, is stretching your right hip flexor. So it's two big stretches in a row. Left leg is up and open. You're just kind of having your own moment here. Okay, left knee goes to left elbow. We're going to step our left foot outside our left thumb. Remember, our first objective here is to kind of crawl your right leg back in space. No rush getting there. Lizard lunge, breathing, hugging the knees in a little bit. Sometimes we get on the inner edge of the back foot. You can roll on the outer edge of your front foot. You know, that's a style of it. I wasn't personally instructing that, but I saw, I think, one or two of you doing that. That's a different version. It's almost like you're going to a pigeon in lizard. And then maybe you come to your forearms, you want a little extra strength, you tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. If you want a lot more, you reach your arms forward, kind of on your fingertips. Let's breathe here, yogis. Good minute and a half more. Sometimes we forget about that kind of lunge stretch, right? We'll do like the pigeon and the straight leg, like the hamstring. And we forget that that's the upper hamstring attachment. Remember your hamstring, to stretch your hamstring well, and it's, you know, kind of truest form, it crosses two joints. So the back of your hip and the back of your knee, which means you have to flex your hips and straighten your knee. And this is the top part where you're really flexing the hip deepest, because when you straighten the knee, you can't flex the hips as well. It's more restricted. All right. When you're done with your lizard, let's shake it out here, please. I'm going to do one more big stretch. All right. Now let's drop to our buttocks, swinging around. One more kind of, we're gonna stand up after this. I'm just mixing in some stretches here, kind of earlier in class. Let's go for the straddle, right? If you want to stand and do straddle, laying on your back, happy baby is basically the same thing with legs straight. But I'm going to add the side stretch here first. So our 3-part stretch. Try to just get more on the front of your sit bones, flex your feet, lengthen through your heels, sit up. Left arm's going to go up. And starting with that first really big side bend here, you know, notice I'm not forcing it, going for a little extra flexibility at the moment. Flex the foot, lift that heart.
turning the chest up and open. Deep breathing here. Should feel it in the inner right thigh and the kind of left side body. We had an opener to start in child pose, maybe a movement in tabletop, cat-cow. Now we go big here. Okay, I don't want you to hold that too long. It's a really big stretch on the deep muscles. Right arm will go up and over, left hand more inside that left leg. Side stretch. All right, so third part, yogis, no rush getting there, is just taking it right down the middle here, walking those hands forward, kind of pulling gently on the floor. The chest is pulling through the arms like a cobra. Back of the neck is lengthening, shoulders are softening a little bit. And I'm trying to let go a little bit, right down the middle here. Big breathing. Remember, yogi, this is a really important stretch for your lower back. It's really one of the most important because adductor magnus is deep line, right? So inner thighs connects to deepest lower back muscle. Excuse me, hamstrings are like the back line. Inner thighs connect to deep line, the psoas major, right? So those are like QL and psoas major are like two of the most important muscles when trying to reduce back pain. This is such a good one for back pain, right? All right, now take your time. I'm just gonna keep you moving here, guys. We're gonna slowly swing our legs forward. We're gonna make our way up to standing. We just did a forward bend. If you wanna do a quick yogi squat or a quick kind of lift your hips, turn your toes in, forward fold. I'll give you a good 30, 40 seconds and a kind of pose between standing and seated. All right, yogis, I do want to do a little standing yoga, and we're about halfway in class already. So let's get up on our feet and do a few things here. Maybe shake it out a little bit, just start by loosening up. Posture, class has been kind of slow and stiff here, stretchy. Okay, so a little bit more activity moving. I like to do this one, this kind of shape, the qigong, maybe the twisting, or the big kind of hip circling. Some of my favorites, or just kind of jogging in place is good to do. So get that body moving a little bit more. We're about to move, but just a little freedom there. Simple Sunday, let's get our squatting going. Lots of ways to do it. You can have fun by changing it up as you go here. I want to give you a minute to two to really get the legs in the weight-bearing movement. So you take your time, meeting me in that nice standing position, feet above hips width distance, slightly wider. Inhale and exhale. Again, sometimes I'll like pause down there, up, pause and bounce. Up, okay. I could do the circling of the arms. I could add something like a sagittal squat. I could change it by bringing my feet together or feet even wide. Okay, going a little less deep. Let's get some squatting going, yogis. Come on now, gotta get that on. Another minute at least here.
Right, so we've already done a lunge. We've already, you wouldn't think, most people don't recognize that down dog is a hinge pose. So we've already done the hinge. Shifting from plank to dog is literally like shifting from standing to halfway forward fold. So we've done a lot of that hinging. Now you're in that kind of first, you've done child pose, possibly yoga squat. We've already basically done all those fundamentals. Now you take it to that next level again, just like the stretches got bigger. Now the movement and the activation of the body is next level, okay? Now I want to get a nice free movement in here, guys. It's Sundays. So I want you to widen your feet here and just start to like pivot and turn. So this is filling a certain category of our exercise. It's big dynamic hip rotations. It's big kind of pushing and pullings in the arms, okay? So I'm going to start with those feet wide, bending the knees. I want you to think more creative, like movement. Right arm pushes over to the left, left arm pulls, okay? And come back to my squat, okay? Left arm pushes, right arm pulls. Now I don't have to come through squat. I can reach down a little bit for more strength. I can reach up a little bit for more stretch, okay? I can kind of go a little faster. I can bend the knees a little deeper. I can pause and turn and kind of hold and squeeze that core. So you can see there's also, you have some opportunity to be creative and personal in the squat, and it's the same here. You can make it light, you can make it very strong if you do some of those options I mentioned. So let's have you kind of moving a lot and pivoting the hips, kind of pushing and pulling the arms, moving the core, big movement time. So a lot of our movements have been kind of like closed chain. That means like you're really stuck on the floor and it can't be free. And it's been very kind of like symmetrical, like forward and back or up and down, squatting, right? Now it's more like creativity, like, okay, I'm going to move my body a lot in a creative, kind of fun, loose way. Ooh, nice. Like that. Some martial arts. Yeah, you're kind of pushing, pumping, you're moving your body more than normal, yogis. You got to get outside your normal daily movement patterns. It's dynamic stretching, so it's going to make you flexible. Last few moments. Yeah, it's just basically like dancing. You can just turn your music up and start dancing. That can fill this, what we're trying to do here as well. All right. That's something I miss about Zoom yoga because I like to like get you in class, kind of turn up the music and that like changes the energy and you kind of get you going a little bit, right? We don't have that in here. Should I sing for you guys? No, I just you can always do that though. Like if you can play music in the background or something or turn it up at certain times just to kind of give you some more, a little push. All right, yogis. All right, so we're gonna go into balance. Now it's simple Sunday. So you could do your simple tree. That'd be first level, right? Second level might be just kind of holding the knee up. Third level might be going into warrior three. It's still beginner, but you know, we do that most, I think we did that like every class this week. So I don't know if you need to go there, but more challenging would be adding a bent over lever, right? Okay, dropping the left hip down, lifting that left leg up, maybe even adding your arms backing up if you want to go big. Okay, if you're upright in tree, for more arms, you can reach your arms up. Let's get on one foot and do a little bit of work now. You did a lot of movement, squatting, and then the lunging, pivoting. Now it's a little bit more like still static control after a lot of that movement. You guys know what to do. You're just looking, the yoga cues represent reminding you of your body tendencies. So if your spine tends to round in the warrior three, you see a lot of you do it, you pull the chest forward more, lengthen the neck forward. Okay, and if the knees bend a lot, you're straightening them more. Okay, and then, you know, depending on what you're doing, warrior three people probably can't hold as long as tree people. So you're going to eventually kind of switch sides. You're just going side to side yoga here. We are going to do, 2 rounds. So you have plenty of time. So you're just going to start that second side, warrior three or tree. You can add, yeah, nice. Like you can do a one-legged chair here if you want more squat. You can do If you want to mix in a half moon, we got 2 rounds, so you got plenty of time to add it. Half moon or revolve moon. Eagle is a balance, standing bow is a balance. A lot of opportunity. I'm just keeping it simple. As long as we're on one leg, we're kind of doing what we're looking for here. Nice, kind of putting a few postures together. Yeah, if you want to do moving balance, that's fine. So no rush here, yogis. Second, just so we're clear, we're doing a big movement here coming up soon, and it is going to be like a bent over movement, fundamental. So, that's why I'm going a little bit more still here, just slowing you down. So we got second round. We got to do a nice second round. I got to give you like a minute per side here at least for the balance. Okay, so you shake it out a little bit, and second round of balance. Be creative. Like I said, you can just go like right into a half moon. You could take warrior 3 revolve. Standing split can be kind of in that realm if you want to go big. But I mentioned some others previous. It's always good to keep it simple and just warrior 3 again, or standing tree / pulling the knee into your chest. Just drive through that standing leg, yogis. Okay. Warrior 3 people, that top like pinky toe points down, dropping that left hip down. Okay, maybe if you haven't, let's switch sides. Last round here. Just letting you have a go, right? Basically trying to stay on one foot at least a minute here. All right, Sadia's still going on your balance. I'm just gonna kind of move forward here. Just a nice, simple, basic, yogis. The good old calf raises. You might want to kind of hold the wall or something. I'm just gonna get a few heel lifts in. So it's hard to see maybe. I'm just kind of lifting my heels. Again, this can strain your foot, so be easy. I lift up, I kind of pause, lower, lift, pause, lower, and I can kind of pulse it out a little bit. Okay, if you did have like a staircase next to you, you go over, you hold the banister, you actually let your heels go a little bit lower than the ball of the foot, and then up higher, right? So that fuller range might hit the calf better. So again, just kind of lifting my heels, really focusing on getting those ankles activated. So ideally, like I said, and you can do it one-legged if you're feeling really good. You maybe still holding the wall, kind of lifting, pausing down, lifting, pausing.
lower, and then again, a little pulse. Notice I have a slight bend in the knee. Gotta really get in the calf to light up and pump a little bit. Just kind of fundamental isolation here. Okay, so we did squatting and lunging. We got to do that. It's called the BLT, right? You did one twist. It's not really considered a bent over one because you're in a spinal lengthening position. So I'm going to keep you going. I'm going to demonstrate so you can just get right into a big movement time. Fundamental. We try to mix this exercise into some classes. It's classic, right? They do it in like high school for kids. You inhale, reach your arms up, kind of lift your chest. Go slow to start, bend the knees, right hand toward left leg. Inhale, left hand toward right leg. So it's crossing over. Inhale. Yogis, we are getting the breath going here a little bit, right? So the movement is kind of, let's call it like part of our cardiovascular work. So there's times in class where we breathe a little bit deeper, more intense kind of speed and power in the breath. And don't forget, yogis, we don't want to just inhale. Remember, I've talked about mouth breathing is more associated with stress response, like erratic breathing. We also know, like, think about like when you get like scared or something, you go, you inhale, right? So if we're only inhalers, that's not good. Exhaling is more of like the relaxing part of the breath. So try to notice that. Just try to be more of a aware exhaler. Okay. Last few moments. This is going pretty long here. Oops, just 1 second. All right, now I want you to take your time here, kind of finish that up. That's pretty good for standing, that's almost 15 minutes. We're gonna make our way to the front of our mat. If you want to take like a nice sun salutation, something that might be nice here, if you want to do a quick pull, you could reach your arms up, kind of pull your arms down and back a few times. I lost you guys again. Inhale, you guys can still see me, right? Exhale. Inhale. So I'm just kind of like pulling the elbows down and back. It's almost like doing an air pull-up where the bar is up here. And instead of obviously pulling my chest up, I'm pulling the bar down to my chest, kind of lifting the chest up a little bit. And I'm feeling my lower back muscles light up. All right, my computer is doing like these update things. So I keep losing you. There you go. All right, no rush. Next time you inhale those arms up, exhale, forward fold. Let's make our way back down. Inhale, half lift. High plank and low plank. One more chance here for a nice chaturanga. Maybe you add your round of push-ups for your upper body strength. I want you to remember, guys, push-up motion is not a straight up and down. It is actually an angle slightly forward. So if you want to see that demo, a push-up is not straight like down and up. It's more forward and down, back and up. So there is this little movement forward. You're not really moving much forward, just maybe an inch or 3. But it is a slight angle forward and down, and then back and up. I've said that before. It's been maybe a year or 2 since I've mentioned that, but that's important to remember. All right.
All right, so I do want to finish it off with a little bit of core and then a stretch or two to end, okay? So we'll drop down to our knees, swing our legs around, come to seated. So I'm not going to give you much, just one kind of core tightener. You could start with a few of these kind of chest lifts. Some people call them crunches. You kind of lift and pause, lower, lift, pause, lower. If that's not serving you this morning, you could do a little leg swing. Whether your head and arms are on the floor, your lower back will stay down. You'll inhale forward, exhale up. Okay, these both are going to really hit the core well. You could do anything else. You want to go big, you could do the opposite leg. You kind of already did this, but reaching for that hand, the opposite foot, really good core stimulator. Anything else is fine. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do bridges, and then we'll be kind of stretching. But I do want to give you another minute here to get that core really going. Another nice little add-on could be if you're doing your crunches, you crunch to the center, reach back, then you kind of crunch a little bit up to the right. So I'm outside my thigh. Okay. Last few moments for those abs. So yogis, we did that front core, and the last thing would be the bridges here in the end, right? Simple Sundays, taking these fundamentals. Let's do those bridges. So think of that as your posterior core, mainly your glutes, hamstrings, strengthener, and it is, somewhat lower back as well. So when you're ready, you're done with your abs, you might take a little neutralizing shake out, and then boom, placing your feet right down behind your sit bones, lifting the hips up, pausing. Some days we hold, some days we go up and down, kind of like a thrust. Some days we go up, pause, lower down, up, pause. So kind of both there. Some days we pulse it. If you're feeling good, do one. I'm gonna try. I gave you time for 2 rounds here, maybe about 2 minutes total. If you got it, maybe do one-legged thrusting, one-legged bridge, kind of up, pause, down, maybe 3/4, up, pause. If you're feeling good, okay. So this is last active kind of energy of class. Adding here, if you have those like kind of workout bands, that's always good. Maybe you throw those around the knees. Just gonna be more glutes basically. All right, come on now. Let's get those bridges on. This is basically it. And after this, we are kind of turning it down a notch, and you're done with any strong yoga, all right? So you got one more round here, please. All right, now it looks like some of you are done there. Well, yeah, some of you still going, right? I want to give you a few minutes here to stretch in the end. So nice job there, yogis. I'm not going to do the regular figure four. Feel free to add any stretch that serves you better, all right? I'm going to start by bringing the knees into the chest. You can give it a quick squeeze, quick happy baby, might feel good. I'll only give you a few moments here because we kind of already did squatting and lunging, lizard, very similar there. And right, a lot of times this is called reclining lizard, right? Like happy baby. So we've kind of already done that posture. All right, let's bring the feet wide on our floor, knees bent to the sky, knees knocked left. So think of this as almost the opposite of our figure four. Right knee knocks in, left foot on outer right knee. All right, try to let this one kind of melt in. The right knee is knocking inward, yogis. My right knee knocking in is the target. Last few breaths, we won't hold this one long. Okay, second side, yogis. Remember, figure four is the external rotation of the angled knee hip. This is the internal rotation, right? So it's kind of like stretching your hip flexor versus stretching your glute. It's the opposite. You always want to, just remember that. And we do this one less. It's a really great stretch for back pain as well, because what's the recommendation when people have back pain? It's usually bilateral medial rotation. Like say you're in bed, you don't want to put your feet together, your knees fall open if you have back pain. That's going to push against the sacrum more. So it's going to kind of squeeze everything inward toward the back. Knees knocked together, feet a little bit wide. It's going to kind of decompress the back. All right, and I'm going to do that shoulder wrist compression here. It's from the Yin Yoga, the Gomukhasana. Love this shoulder release, and we really haven't been doing it much. So when you release there, shake it out, please. No, if you need extra on that side, you're going to roll onto your left side, reach your right arm behind you. Everyone knows this one. Walk the hand up the spine. Look at the elbow, it hugs down and in. I simply spread my fingers and roll onto my back. Sometimes we've done those postures together, these last two, but I just want you to keep it simple. Just laying on your back, kind of laying, compressing the wrist and the arm. Relaxing, breathing. It's totally normal for you to feel this a lot, right in the front of your right shoulder. Okay, and then we'll slowly release that arm. Not doing the whole yin hold here, yogis, just a little bit shorter version. Second side, you're going to roll onto your right, and left arm will kind of reach behind you up your back. So yogis, take another couple breaths there. And you got time for one more stretch. We did a hip stretch, did a shoulder arm stretch. If you want to do a spinal twist or a block under your body, or if you want to go big like a plow, swing your legs up over your body, those are just a couple options from me. After your shoulder arm compression, you release and you take one more stretch of choice, closing up your physical practice.
Could give you another minute or two.